for women, children, and persons with disabilities in criminal justice administration and reform. I am Weka Shedrack. I want to say welcome to every one of you on behalf of Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program. Without wasting much of our time, we are starting right away. Just need a volunteer to give us an opening prayer, and then we get it off the ground. Opening prayer. Whether a man, whether a woman, whether Christian or Muslim, give us an opening prayer. You're all welcome. All right, thank you.
In the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Father, in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Father, in the precious name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Oh, precious Daddy, we thank you and bless your name for the opportunity that you give unto us all to be here this morning and to be alive and not living. Send the glory and honor be assured in the name of Jesus Christ. My Father, I want to thank you for the opportunity that you given us, oh Lord, to be here for this program. Lord, I ask that even all the committees of this program, Lord, bless them all in the name of Jesus Christ. We have come here, Lord, let everything you're going to do today work according to your will. Send down your Spirit of God are going to be with us, that everything will work according to your will in the name of Jesus Christ. Blessed be your holy name, Lord, because I know you're already with us. Thank you, our Father. In the name of God, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, in Jesus' mighty name, we pray.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Looking at our agenda, I would want to retweak it a bit so that you will not say, oh, you skip something. Before we get to the welcome address, I would want to take an introduction. And also, thank you, sir.
Oh, okay, I'm glad to be in your right hand. That means I survive. My name is e.t.c from Anambra State Disability Rights Commission. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Okafor Felix Chukwuemeka, DSC from Nigeria Correctional Service.
My name is Augustine Wanda of Legal Service Department, Anambra State Disability Rights Commission. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gochi Freeman on Creative Minds. Creative Minds.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chukwuemeka Modeling. I write for Anambra Broadcasting Service.
Good morning, all. I'm a vegetarian from Child Protection Network.
Good morning. My name is Chief Manager, I'm the Public Relations Officer, Anambra State Disability Rights Commission.
Comrade Ugochukwu is my name. I represent General Meeting Anambra State Disability Commission.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Victoria Konko for the Disability Rights Commission. Thank you.
My name is Iduna Morin. I'm her aide.
My name is Ezekwe Olivia from the MPA and also the Legal Department of Examination.
Good morning, all. My name is Emmanuel Enoch, Sign Language Interpreter to the Anambra State Disability Rights Commission.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Leslie Sani from the Department of Finance and Admin.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Audrey David. The same office with my colleagues. Good morning, everybody.
Wait, I announced your office very well. You just say from the Department of Finance.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Your Worship Fiokoye. I'm the Administrative Magistrate, Chief Magistrate Coordinator. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lawrence Moon from the Gambia Online.
My name is Anambra Jane, Head of Administration, Anambra State Disability Rights Commission.
My name is Anambra, and is the head of the Deaf Community Service in the Anambra State Disability Rights Commission.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chinenyi Kele. I'm representing the Association of Persons with Physical Disability in Anambra State. Thank you.
My name is Obianya Antonia, Director of Rehabilitation in the Ministry of Women Affairs and a member of the RC.
Good morning, all. My name is RoLAC Access, Social Welfare Officer for the Ministry of Women Affairs.
Good morning, all. My name is e.t.c. I am heading my husband.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mr. Domain William from DRC. Okay.
Good morning, all. My name is Philip from Anambra State Abusive Association.
Good morning, all. His Honor Prince Uchenna Lupiwa from Waka Customary Courts.
Good morning, all. Professor C.J. Obanyam is my name, from MBA Agwata Branch, former chairman.
State Project Coordinator, Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program, the person of Mrs. Rosemary Josephine Honor. Please put your hands together as we welcome her to give us one reason why we are here today. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Good morning, all. Good morning again. I guess we have established the right protocol. And just like I want to borrow the chairman, the Stability Rights Commission's word that I want to lean, not stand, but I want to lean on the existing protocol. If I am allowed to do that, I will appreciate. So, I am happy for the fourth time this week to stand before us to be talking about the issue of disabilities, talking about the implementation of the disability rights law, because that is what it is in a nutshell. Irrespective of whichever activity that we are doing. The first day, it was operationalizing the legal services unit of the Disability Rights Commission. The second day, it was that too, though they were two different activities. One with the persons that want to build their capacity to support the pro bono lawyers that will be working for that disability rights, the legal services unit. Then the second one is to bring disability communities for them to understand what we want to do. That it is no longer business as usual. That their rights have been denied for a very long time now, but now they can seek redress. That law provides for them to seek redress, and we want to activate the provision of the law that has enabled that. And I am quite happy that by yesterday evening, we concluded on that. And I am sure that a lot of persons that represented the various communities, disability communities, went home quite happy. Today, we have come to look at another dimension of the implementation of this law. Like I said yesterday, they are all human angles to the implementation of this law. We have the legal angle, which we suppose has now translated to the human angle, and we want to implement it and implement it to the letter. Today, what we have come to discuss is to look at reforms in the criminal justice delivery. The reforms that we have brought about in implementing the criminal administration of criminal justice law, the various reforms that RoLAC has supported, and then other donors as well. And look at how much has it really impacted on women, children, girls, and persons living with persons with disabilities, generally. Have we taken them into account in trying out these reforms? Have we taken them into account? Are there things that are requirements that we need to implement these laws? And have we one of these days sat together on a drawing board and said, we want to do this reform, we want to carry out this reform, but how will it impact on persons with disability? Is it a question that we have ever asked? And then the record, the data we'll have is about 250 persons, 250,000 persons in this country today lives or is with disability, one disability or the other. So how come that we don't take account of these people? That's quite a large number, a huge number of persons that we cannot just shove their issues aside and say that it does not concern us. So we have come to look at it today. The RoLAC program sat back, thought out of the box, and conceived this initiative that we should go carry research all around. Let it touch the nook and crannies of this country. Let us find out the statistics that we have come to seek. Let the persons that are concerned, that are directly concerned, let them talk for themselves. How much has reforms in the criminal justice delivery, how much has it impacted in them? Let them speak. Let us hear. Let them share their experiences firsthand with us. What we have come to do will not end here. We will carry it back to Abuja. There's a national symposium that will be happening on the 17th and 18th of next month. So it is assumed that after our activity here today, after our meeting, we will want about 3 persons that will take all that we have discussed to Abuja to attend the symposium, so that the Anambra disability community will be fully represented there. We cannot just allow things to fall by us. Or maybe after this meeting today, we will allow our discussions and the outcomes to fall through the cracks. RoLAC has come back. They want to walk, and they want to walk every talk. It's not just talking and talking and talking. The Bible says, if we cannot agree on something and then follow it up to the letter, then it becomes an adventure in futility. There's no need, there's no point, coming together to deliberate, to brainstorm, to talk. So if we begin to walk the talk, we will find out that human angle in coming into development issues will be activated, and people will smile home. We want everybody to smile home. I wish we remembered early enough. We would have invited a small girl with disability to come and talk to us today. Yes, we would have invited a small girl so that the girl will come and talk. It will shock us. Or even if maybe we stepped down on several persons and invited these children, up to 3 of them, we will be shocked and surprised that they know what we are talking about and they can speak for themselves. I tell you, that way we feel it. it becomes like a felt issue, not just speaking grammar. The adults will speak grammar. But even if the child does not know how to speak grammar, the child can express his or herself. I wish we still have opportunity to do this. Let them tell us what attention, even with their parents at home. You will find out that some of their parents don't give the necessary attention to these children. And then they will begin to ask, what crime is it that we have committed? The scripture, Jesus was asked, why is this blind person? Why is he being presented with this situation? And then the Lord told us that they asked him, was he from birth? The Lord said yes. And then that's why he has come is for us to realize that, nature must have to take its course. Let us hold that conversation and know what people feel. Would it mean exposing the children unnecessarily? But in all honesty, I don't think so. I don't really think so. Because the society is not too fair. We are not handling issues that are concerning children. We are not handling these issues very well. I will tell you, I got the story of two children, two girls, for 4 years. They were defiled. One was defiled. And then the mother was about to raise her voice to alert people. She was defiled again. And she brought issue to the notice of the government, and nothing was done about it. I can tell you, nothing was done about it. The mother, a poor widow, I spoke to her after I heard about it, and she was still lamenting that nobody came to her rescue except for the VAP committee, and they were handicapped somehow. If the government could not listen and do anything about it, is it the VAP committee? They will follow it to the extent that they could, and then the case, I guess it has been abandoned today. The woman lamented that she could not get justice. She could not get justice even where she expected she was going to get justice. And there was a 4-year-old again. Can I tell you, the first one, when she was defiled. You can imagine a language that came out from a 4-year-old. That is, so you could just see it, that she was under pressure. The pain, it was just too much for her. We can begin to talk today, and we might not really be able to end. And at the end of the day, what we are expecting today is for people here to begin to walk the talk. The policy makers around us, the policy makers that are present today, let us begin to walk the talk. Let us walk the talk. I would want to encourage a very frank conversation. Let us say it the way it is. That is what we want to hear. And see if there could be solutions to this. And see if there could be solutions. We'll continue to call Tinubu. But in our various ante-rooms, there are things that we can do to salvage a number of situations. And then put a human side angle to what people experience and to what people go through. One angle to legislation, to everything. Let us advance discussions, taking into cognizance how people with disabilities feel. What do they feel? Let us stop the discrimination. Let us stop all the ills that we are perpetuating against this community, this set of people, because they belong to us. You might not really know. That you're not disabled today doesn't mean that you live the rest of your life free of disability. This will, you will, yes. He is a customary court of appeal. Is it customary court of appeal? Customary court president. And then we brought him because I think this is now bringing a square peg in a square hole. I think he's the best person fitted for this assignment today because he has experience, or he is experiencing it firsthand. And more than I do, he will know how to advance the course of this deliberation today. He will know the right questions to ask, even when we are not getting it right. He will rejig it and then bring out the substance of what we should have in this discussion. So we welcome you, Your Honor, and then we hope you do the best you can so that we can have a brilliant outcome from today's meeting. Thank you very much.
Remarks, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you again. Like Madam said, 3 days in a row, standing before you. And I am sure we cannot run short of what to say because the need is enormous. And the need within the disability community, even if we stand here for 1 month talking about it, we can never scratch the surface. But thank God, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And RoLAC has made us to take that one step. And I'm so glad that when God wants to lead you, He does not give you a road map. I don't know how many of you know that. God does not give you a road map. He said, get up and get out. When you get up, get out, He begins to lead you step by step by step, and each step, they say, will be a miracle. In 2018, and Anambra became the first state in the southeast to have a legislation that protects the rights and welfare of persons with disabilities. A domestication of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. A requirement of United Nations that all the signatories to that treaty domesticate SEM in their local area. And thanks to RoLAC and all the partners, Genopede, and all the civil society organizations that fought for the passage of that law and subsequent setting up of Anambra State Disability Rights Commission 5 years after the law was enacted. And today, RoLAC is making the commission visible. RoLAC is making the commission translate our talk to our walk. RoLAC is making us step down the services required by this law to the rural villages. What we came up with, that is, which is to produce and make the services down to the grassroots level, to the rural area instead of an urban center. But indeed, it's RoLAC that is now making it to happen. In addition to all that RoLAC has done in Anambra State, all the programs it has sponsored, all the initiatives, all the projects, it is RoLAC that has now promoted this solution vision and is making it a reality. By taking 12 lawyers to Abuja and making them capable to come down and defend the interests of persons with disabilities, to fight for the rights of persons with disabilities, to protect persons with disabilities from legal impediments. It is RoLAC that is now making this law implemented. And as we said 2 days ago, there is no implementation without enforcement. That the best way to implement the provision of law is to enforce it. That is why the police were with us yesterday and still with us today. The disability community has been empowered, energized, and equipped to seek redress wherever there is an infringement of their rights. They are now willing, more than ever, to say it is enough. It is further and no further. No further. That we can no longer tolerate subjudication. We can no longer tolerate subjection of inhuman treatment. We can no longer tolerate prejudice prohibited by section 20 subsection 1 of Anambra State Disability Rights Law. We can no longer be ignored in physical and infrastructural development in the state, when the law provides in section 23 that after 5 years this law has been passed, that all public buildings need to be modified, all existing public buildings need to be modified to grant access to persons with disabilities. That the law is still not being implemented. From 2018 to today, 2024, do the mathematics. Does our government have any more excuses? Section 23 also requires that every person with disability of 60 years and older be provided with social security as it is done in the developed world. But the government needs to know that this is a mandatory provision of the law, not a suggestion. Our senior citizens are still in the limbo. They are still having problems. We will take care of them. That is why we appreciated, and we still appreciate the presence of the Women Affairs here. There is a person representing the Social Welfare Department of Women Affairs. Can you raise a memo to the governor requesting for social security to be provided for persons with disabilities who are 60 years and older? And it will be a monumental achievement. Please tell the Commissioner for Women Affairs, it will be a monumental achievement for this administration and for the present Ministry of Women Affairs that under the present administration a welfare scheme was introduced and social welfare, social security, income is now being made available and implemented by the government for persons with disabilities 60 years and over. And it is a mandatory provision. It does not say may, it says shall. But I can tell you, except we draw attention to the government that is faced with a lot of issues that is asking for priority attention, if we can let the government know that this is a mandatory provision of the law, we are proposing as a commission to put it in our budget for 2025. It was there before. And we are trusting that we will get approval, not only approval, that we will be able to access, compile a statistics of persons with disabilities of 60 years and older. Also, thanks to Madam RoLAC, what you said about the population of persons with disabilities, except to say, Madam, the figure you quoted is very minimal. There is a lot. The figure we are using now, according to statistics, for the whole country, is over 35 million. 35 million. Over 30. We say over because it's much, much more. So we have over 35 million persons with disabilities in Nigeria. And in Anambra State, not even 250,000. That's right. In Anambra State, the available statistics that is over 10 years old is what? 600,000 persons with disabilities. And let me say, politics is a game of numbers. And the Disability Rights Commission, while not being partisan, is set to mobilize electorate, persons with disabilities, to know their voting right as enshrined by Section 52 of Anambra State Disability Rights Law. Telling them, recognize their voting right and come out and vote into power. A government that will take care of us. And the Section 55 makes it mandatory for political parties to assist persons with disabilities in this task. And makes it mandatory for the Electoral Commission to recognize and make it easy for persons with disabilities to participate in politics. Do you know if we mobilize even 500 out of 600,000 that we had years ago? And I want you to imagine if this census was like over 10 years ago. You wonder what it is now, because every day people join our community. Before you woke up this morning and look at the time now, if you look at the time now, over 500 people who were not members of disability community yesterday have already joined. The driver is still on the way. Sadly so. But it's a reality. So, quoting Madam RoLAC again, if we mobilize, we can immediately take the election the way we need to be politically emancipated. We just need to be mobilized. We just need election in this state. When last did you see how many millions voting for the top president? The last election in Anambra State, was it not within 200? I just want to tell you, we have power. Taking us realize that we have power, and we are ready. If you are not ready to be, rise up and exercise the power that has been given to you. You are mobilized, you are instructed, you are inspired, you are educated. The advocacy is complete. Let's go and take our state. God bless you.
The power.
You really said it all.
All we need is political emancipation, and she can decide in the election in this country. All right, thank you so much once again for that photograph.
and then we proceed for our tea break.
Cheers.
That's okay.
Please put all the things here.
Some coffee or
Tea.
tea finishes green tea and coffee.
Your Honor, Prince Will Iwafo, he is going to be the one that will cruise us above 80,000 feet above the sea level in the next moment. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. The wonderful compare. MC, you have done a great job.
Thank you.
Although I was wondering when you were talking about 800 feet, 80 feet above that, I wasn't quite sure I knew what you were talking about. Is it above sea level?
Above sea level.
I am not with him on that, please. Let the record reflect that. Thank you so much, and I want to lead as the coordinator of RoLAC here, as earlier said, on existing protocol. In doing so, I still have the urge. I can't curtail the urge to say hello to my Oga, Chief Barrister Chukwueze. I haven't seen him in a long time, so it's very nice seeing him today. Thank you, sir, for being here with us. It's been a long journey, and we are getting to the destination. The real task is with us. If you go to the program, if you look at the program, and for those of us that would need assistance to appreciate the next program, is couched as group discussions. Barriers persons with disabilities face in the criminal justice system. So this is a group discussion. And discussion is going to be centered on barriers PWDs face in the criminal justice system. I am merely a moderator, so I have a very little job to do here. The bulk of the job is with us. And a lot of people are counting on us to do a very good job. Disabilities in criminal justice system delivery. Can I break here now? If only you can do over can do the extent to which persons with disabilities have access or have barriers with respect to inweta justice, specifically criminal justice. What are these challenges and what remedies could be profiled to tackle these challenges? That is the summary of what we are. That is the summary of our business here today. It's a very straightforward business, but it's a frank business. It requires a lot of frank talk on our parts. It requires a lot of candidness on our parts and forthrightness too. In doing so, essentially are peculiar to our state. What is universal, Abuja, and Lagos, and the other people here, good and fine. But when they are running more peculiar to our state or to our environment, that we need to point out and profile solutions to.
He's a wheelchair user and he was taken there, and he said most times he has to take his bath outside. So I could imagine. I don't know, but that was what he said. He said he never used their washroom. Their washroom, I mean their bedrooms, it was not accessible. So he could not access it.
No, beyond that,
when you are talking about making a washroom accessible, it's not about you taking the wheelchair inside.
No. In the prison, the person being in prison, and is he not allowed to use a wheelchair inside the prison?
It's not allowed. Police say it's not allowed.
Okay, let's stop. So you could imagine.
Can they experience assignment? Either by ourselves or the experiences you can verify. So, in doing this, it may be imperative that when you want to make your submissions or opinions known, you are at liberty to adopt anonymity. In other words, you can disclose your identity because you have to talk honestly. So if you feel you want to, you can close your identity, you can hide your identity. So you do not have to identify yourself in making some observations or saying certain things. If that would warrant that you be honest enough or you be open enough on those issues. I hope we are on the same page here. Yes. All the can we see your hands?
Can you back up?
Not you talk about medical centers. Is it private hospitals or whatever? Unless we are talking about.
Is that what the number like? Yes. Customary codes.
Okay, so hold on. We're talking about specialized medical centers where this microphone is not working. Can hear you. Okay, specialized medical facilities, specialized places. Okay. Like that, there's this what do you call it? Yes. Yes.
Feeder.
Feeder.
They're handling widows.
Yes, it can qualify as well. That can also qualify as well. But yes, it can qualify as well. Yes. Sorry? Correctional centers, yes. Formerly prisons. Yeah. There are no more prisons. There are correctional centers. Yes? Is that all?
Customary court.
Customary courts?
Yes.
No, I was talking about costs.
Yes.
Costs.
Yes.
Costs.
Costs.
And that will now ask, that will tell us what are the costs with criminal jurisdiction.
High court.
Because it's about criminal justice, it's about costs with criminal jurisdiction. Costs that handle criminal matters. So that you know, we have yes?
High court. High court.
High court. High court is a court of original general criminal jurisdiction. Original general criminal jurisdiction. That's where you can virtually you can initiate it there at the High Court. And of course, you have the magistrate court, right?
Yeah.
It has some jurisdiction in criminal matters, not all criminal matters, but in a good number of criminal matters, magistrate courts. Okay? You also have a very limited jurisdiction for customary courts, very limited criminal jurisdiction, minor matters. And then you have some specialized courts, like revenue courts, for traffic offenses, and all that. No, they do not qualify as courts that can with criminal jurisdiction. They are only they come under. So you just you can do that will make this another. That they do not qualify as courts with criminal jurisdiction. Yes, please.
Remand code, where they modify the character of the criminal.
Remand rules. You mean juvenile correctional homes?
We have our homes too, and we have remand rules.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it qualifies. It qualifies. So I think we have done justice to them. We have been able, at least this shows that we have a good appreciation of these existing justice institutions in our states. Now, quickly, we move to the next question. Are justice institutions physically accessible to persons with disabilities?
Yes.
All right.
For instance, Ministry of Justice.
Ministry
of Justice.
Ministry of Justice. Please note it. Our whole Ministry of Justice is what?
It's not accessible. It's not.
It's not?
Yes.
Oh, what is the nature of this physical inaccessibility?
No ramp. A wheelchair user cannot climb that stairs.
A wheelchair user cannot climb.
Yes, cannot use it. Cannot
Ministry
access
of Justice of Anambra State. Well, what is the nature of the access to that place?
That's
stairway.
Stairway, yes. To the third floor.
To the third floor.
Yeah.
I'm sure it has a lift.
No ramp. Like very slopey stairs.
There's no lift, there's no ramp.
No ramp.
And we are already told by our law, I think section that 5 years is a grace period. After 5 years, that the Disability Rights Commission should be able to take it up. For every day of non-compliance, an individual, 5,000 naira government agency, government establishment. If it's a private building, 1,000 naira for every day of. But somebody needs to initiate it. So that's very wonderful. Ministry of Justice. Yes?
Number 3. Otolo Police Station.
Police station?
Yeah.
With the example of Otolo Nnewi Police Station?
Yes.
Okay.
A wheelchair user
What is the nature of inaccessibility?
A wheelchair user cannot have access to that their office, their building.
Why?
It has steps without ramps.
There's no ramp.
Yes.
So it's not accessible to a wheelchair, a person with physical disability. A wheelchair user.
A wheelchair user in particular.
All right. Yes?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
Number 6.
Number 6.
Yeah, the correctional center we have here in Noka, at Anambra. I've been there severally for my charitable foundation, and it's not accessible. Each time I get there, it's either they lift me or I send someone. Then when you get inside, they don't have any restroom at all that is accessible. The restrooms are not accessible for persons with disability.
For the correctional center?
Yeah, the one we have.
Correctional
center.
Amobia, yes, sir. It's not.
Okay.
From the entrance.
Right from the entrance?
Yeah, you'll be disappointed.
So persons with
disability.
Disability, physical disability, wheelchair?
Yeah.
Wheelchair?
Even those with crutches cannot use it.
Okay. Now, what about the courts? The high court, the magistrate court, the customary court. How accessible are they?
No high court, no well. Number 3.
Number 3.
Yes.
Says that no high court.
Wheelchair user cannot access the court.
It doesn't have ramp.
No ramps. No ramps.
Yes?
I want to ask a question.
Yes.
Do we take it, for instance, if you want to mention a police station, you take it one after the other, mentioning different names, or do we generalize?
No, if you just say police stations are not accessible, you may not be factual. It can just be, we need you to be more specific.
Okay.
So that we'll be sure you know what you're talking about.
Okay.
It's not enough to just say police stations in Anambra State are not accessible.
Okay.
So we need you to be more specific so we know which one we're dealing with. So
all right.
Be more factual.
All right. Number 4, Nnewi CPS and Otuacha police stations are not accessible. They have stairways, very high. Otuacha and Nnewi CPS, not accessible.
Thank you.
High court in Anambra, there's no accessible.
High court here?
Anambra.
There's no high court. Depends on how many of us have actually been to the court. So only these few of us have been to the court. Manisha High Court? Okay, number what? Okay, he can give his steps. He has no number. I think he can categorically give his steps. Okay. So we are getting it that most of our courts, be they high court, magistrate court, customary court, are not physically accessible, mainly by reason of absence of ramps, steep steps, and all that. Of course, we have taken that of a police station and other law enforcement. It's not just police stations, so no law enforcement. We're talking about something like immigration, road safety offices, civil defense. So we have only talked about police. We have generally agreed that police, their structures are not physically accessible. Can we say the same of any other law enforcement agency?
You're paying definitely it will be difficult for
So
somebody.
even the ones downstairs, do they have a ramp?
No.
There's no ramp?
There's no ramp.
Even human rights. Human rights rented off.
Human rights.
So essentially, they don't have ramps. They don't have ramps. Can we confirm that?
The problem, most of the time, they will tell us that they are
Civil defense.
rent.
Human rights.
Human rights.
Office. They are
No,
rented
we're talking about law enforcement agents. Not all. Can you give us an example of police station that is B division?
This one here.
It has ramps. So we have taken, we have recorded the opinion of the officer there that B division is accessible. That is our opinion. That is our opinion. What's your number?
the office for someone else.
What's your number, please? Number what? 17, okay. No, everybody's entitled to the opinion. Okay. So you can give your contrary opinion.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, I'm saying that.
Number what?
I have been there, number 3. I have been at B division. It has steps. It's not accessible to any person using wheelchair.
Okay.
Yes, and even the environment. Somebody in a wheelchair cannot even move around there. It's sandy. It's sandy. Seriously.
Sandy environment.
Yes.
Accessible. They have steps not accessible to. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what about alternative dispute resolution provisions that are made for PWDs? And then we'll take it one after the other. Courts, police station, ADR centers, state ministries of justice, and correctional centers. Yes, Your Worship. Okay, number 5, not Your Worship, number 5.
This is on physical disability because every other one, if those that are visually impaired will have someone that will lead them upstairs and all that. But even if you come with the wheelchair, even if you have somebody to help you, it's gonna be I don't know how to put it, but how would he lift you up with a wheelchair and take you up? So there's really no provision, no special provision. In short, I've had reasons to suggest in a gathering like this that where the courts, assuming it is actually financially impracticable to put these ramps in place because of the financial constraints, we could make a special provisions where when such matters are going to come up, the judge could, come downstairs, do it in a court downstairs and everything, just to make sure that they're heard. Do you understand? Because it's actually quite deflating to lift somebody up and lift him into the courtroom. Do you understand? Already you've tampered with his yes, you've tampered with his dignity when you have to lift him like a sack of rice and lift him into the courtrooms to come and defend himself. So most times I think it is better because when we talk about those things, they'll tell you there are financial constraints to it. If you go to the government now and tell them you were given 5 years to put those things in place, why haven't you done it? I can bet you that what they would say is that we were financially constrained, we couldn't meet up with it. So in the alternative, on Tuesday, I was at the Nene police station for the monthly station inspection, okay? And when I got there, the staircase was quite high. But I took my time and I climbed it. There was no such provision into the DPO's office before I started calling for their record books to inspect it. Everybody, ordinarily, that's in quote, should have affected me a little. Yes. But everybody has not gotten to that stage where you live above whatever kind of limitation there may be. Yes. Do you understand? There are still people that are psychologically affected by any form of limitation. So I'm just trying to say that both in the courts, In the police stations, there is no provision. There is no separate place that has been made available for these people, for us to be able to assess them. That's just it. Thank you.
In fact, what you have just said now will help us to, something we have to arrange now. In doing this, in making these submissions, you also come with recommendations. So you have recommendations at the end of it, but to save our time, because in making your submission now, you also made a recommendation. There's a recommendation you made, okay, which appears to be in deserving circumstances, for example, for the court to relocate, to change locus, to suit the person with disability. So that means if Muhammad cannot go to the mountain, let that mountain come to Muhammad. That will be a recommendation. Although we know that ordinarily the structures are supposed to be made disability friendly, accessible. So you are recommending that in certain circumstances, the mountain should go to Muhammad. That is now, mind you, let's look at it. We are talking about whether the question is, are there specific accommodations or provisions for the PWDs, such as sign language, interpreters, ramps, accessible formats, signage? The answer is no. With respect to court, the answer is no. There are no such things like ramps to help. And then our recommendation is, if it is financially impossible to provide that, why don't we rejig it and then say, let the court.
Okay, let me in my own court.
Okay.
In my court recently, when I took over as the admin magistrate, I had to move over to the other court. I had written them the staircase to climb up to the podium where you sit was, I couldn't have climbed it. It could take me ages to climb it. I had to personally, after I had written severally, I had to personally put that in place by myself. Yes, using my own money, so that I'll be able to access, to be able to climb up there. I had to make the step accessible, and then I put a rail to make it. So, apart from that, you talk about the judicial officers that are employed in the judiciary. Those that are living with disability, there's no level playing ground. You have a meeting in the judiciary, and you have to go up to the town hall. The town hall yes. Others are already seated. You take your time and climb the staircase before you get into that place. I'm talking about the judiciary, judiciary headquarters, the town hall, where the meetings are being held. It's on the 3rd floor. And when we are invited for our meetings, which includes you, my learned brother, yes, when we go for our meetings, we have to take our time to climb and climb before you get to the 3rd floor, get into that place to have the meeting. So even the staff, I'm not talking about the litigants now, even the judicial officers, yes, we also suffer because yes, exactly. Thank you. A delegation was sent to the retired chief judge, and he did mention that they were going to do something about finding a way to restructure the building, to bring in ramps and make it accessible. But of course, it was never done, and I'm sure it's owing to financial constraints. Okay, so in that kind of situation, maybe they should. Yes.
Do we say that in such circumstances, if they don't have the finances to do that, they should locate the building?
Exactly.
Even if that should be accessible.
Exactly. Considering the fact that you also have people that are physically challenged that are also under your employment, so that you should also take them into consideration and just don't assume that everybody can access it. So at least, if nothing else, if the worst comes to the worst, you relocate the meeting place so that everybody can access it.
Okay. And follow-up. Okay. Number what?
Number 7.
Okay.
My name is Eze.
You are number 7.
Tell them I said.
Okay.
The exercise we're doing now has been done on the sponsorship of RoLAC. Months ago, RoLAC sponsored an audit research, accessibility audit research of all the MDAs in Anambra State. And whereby representation, using all the scientific methods, the conclusion is not accessible. So there is no to all this. Zero, zooch in all this because not accessible. Promises have been made, the promises are not kept. All the promises have been broken. And there is a violation of Anambra State Disability Rights Law. Well, Your Worship, Your Honor asked for recommendation to the from the last speaker. Yesterday, this matter came up. What should the courts do? And we answered as follows. Maybe they will constitute recommendation today. Four of them. One, the court can relocate to where a person with disability can access when there is a matter involving a person with disability. We're not saying they should now abandon the court room, but we're saying when the matter involves a person with disability, the court should come down. Let mountain come down to Mohammed, where the person with disability can access. That's number one. Number two, we say the judge, if his chamber is accessible, can hold hearing in his chamber and take, the question was, how will a person with disability give evidence or testify as a witness? He can go, if the judge's chamber is accessible, that would be an alternative. That's number two. Number three, we have virtual proceedings that is now available around the world. Number one, there is what is called hybrid, where you create Zoom link, Google link. Hybrid is when some people are physically present in the courtroom and others join on Google or Zoom. And they can also hold all the proceedings virtually. Since COVID, it was one of the takeaways from COVID era. Many countries, including United States, there are many matters that are now held completely virtually. So when you get a summons, when you get a court paper, you check your paper whether the hearing was going to be virtual, hybrid, or physical. You check all that. So that's a solution. That's a recommendation. The court, everybody is now going digital, and the Anambra courts can go digital as well if we can use Zoom or Google Link or Meet or different platforms. Here is number 4. Do I remember the number 4? And there are some people who were here yesterday. I think
special provision.
Special provision for the disabled. That's what we're talking about. I'm giving you 3 that can happen, but I know yesterday we talked about 4. When I remember the first one, I let you. There are 4 conditions. There are 4 solutions we proffered yesterday.
Yeah, you said that.
If they are complaining there is financial constraint, as a result they cannot alter the physical structure of the building to provide ramp. We said there are artificial ramps they can hire and pay just to hire that and use it And these ramps can even go up to 3rd or 4th floor. No matter the level, they can use those artificial ones even to provide for the person with disability to be able to access the court, even if the courtroom is on the 3rd floor. Our budget can make provision for such thing. If they can construct a ramp, they can hire one. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No sign language interpreters.
No sign language interpreters?
Yes, then inside the courtroom, no enough light for persons with low vision for them to be able to see and to navigate their way inside. Not
sufficient illumination.
Yes.
In the courtrooms for persons with
low vision.
Okay.
And also no special guide or no help to help person that is blind to lead the person to it, because the place is usually congested with a lot of tables, walls, no space at all for chair users. Not like that. So no, in fact, none of them is accessible for a person with disability. But most times, when a deaf person has a court issue, they have to still come down to me to ask for my services, not even from the court, but from the deaf person, because the lawyers or the judges say, go and get an interpreter on your own, which is not supposed to be like that. They are the ones that are supposed to come.
When you know that we are looking for your recommendations.
Okay, now for
you say that there are no, it's not what is related, there are no interpreters.
Yes.
There are scientists and other assisting on this question. So your commissions?
But my own recommendation is that even they don't know where or how to hire. I mean, maybe if they are trying to dodge the aspect of paying the salary interpreters, our office is free. The Anambra State Disability Rights Commission is free. They provide sign language interpreters that can be made available in all those places. So they can simply just come down to the office and request for a sign language interpreter, and the sign language interpreter can be provided to the person, and the service can be included, and make it more inclusive for all deaf people, because I can count numerous cases that have been called to come and interpret, and at the end of the day, I will indicate them, please, if you need a sign language interpreter and you ask for funds, just don't worry about the fund. The Anambra State Disability Rights Commission will be there to help out, but most of them
they should be notified that there are available people to do this work.
Yes, that
no extra expense.
Yes.
And it is free.
And it is free of charge. Yes.
Free. That's when it's about information. The information is not available to the court.
Yeah.
Okay. To know things.
To make it available for the blind person coming to the court. So all these things that our office has all those things that we also.
So with respect to the deaf community, they can access, the court can reach out to the Disability Rights Commission.
Yes.
And get for free this service.
Yes.
Yes. So the rep of justice, I need you to know this. So when they start talking about cost, this will be an explanation that is not about cost. Maybe it's about sensitization. Because I do not know that this court knows this. The next thing they will tell you is,
I have something to say here. I feel my recommendation for the provision of sign language interpreters, most times as persons with disability, organizations of persons with disability, when we request for sign language interpreters because DRC have limited sign language interpreters, most times their challenge is always transportation. That is one key thing, if I will be factual and if I will be truthful. It's always a challenge. I will talk about Jonapid or Castle, just for us to interpret to our members. Most times, we spend nothing less than 4,000 naira every month for that. You get? So if there is a way, the sign language interpreters working for the Disability Commission, if there is a way their transportation will be provided, then we will say it's free.
So everything is free but transportation?
Yeah, because most times when you call them, it's always transportation issue, because you know that things are hard. So Jonapid and different organizations of persons with disability that are making use of interpreters, they know how much they spend. Even the deaf community, they know how much they spend. It's not totally free. So I am saying, if there is a way
their transportation will be, subsidized or provided. Then, I don't know. Maybe by the government, by the commission, maybe. By the commission, yes.
Or by the court, or by the court,
or by the court, or by the people. Yes, or by. It just have to come from the government. You get, because most times it's always an issue.
Court should make a provision. Court should also make a provision.
So there's a recommendation to take care of the transport.
Yes.
At our meeting in Orumba South, Jonapit, we request for this sign language interpreter from the BASDIN. They refuse us talking about that we have to pay them.
Okay, from BASDIN you have to pay.
Yes.
But from commission you will not pay. That's what we are getting here. So you choose where you are going.
No, it's because that one is
it's closer to you.
Yes, it's close, and we felt that being that it's BASDIN is part of the disability community, that they should help in interpreting to those that are having meeting with us, but they are not doing that. They said that.
So, what is your recommendation?
I believe that the commission should go and sensitize them and tell them that is
so the task is on the commission to take it up with BASDIN,
yes,
to find out why they are not offering free services,
yes,
and when they are charging to offer their services in this respect for the blind community and the deaf community, even the physically disabled. Okay? Thank God the chairman of the commission is here. The ball is in your court, sir.
Thank you. We don't want this to sound like the police going to police station. Because when you go to a police station to make a report, yeah, we need transport to go and make an arrest. Because the logistics are not there. Sometimes the police will ask you for fuel so they can drive the car to go and arrest somebody. The point is the government should support the police, should make provisions for the police to do their job so that complainant doesn't have to come up with the fund. The same way to Disability Rights Commission, we do not want the issue of transport to be an impediment for someone making a request for a sign language interpreter. This is the first year Disability Rights Commission is standing on its own with its own budget. Unfortunately, that transportation issue is not covered by the budget this year. Before coming for this meeting, we were called and inaugurated budget committee. We are hoping what we're taking away from this now, we're going to put it in budget for 2025. Transportation for sign language interpreters to visit or to go to these places when they are requested. But another point I want to make is that the speaker mentioned that when a sign language is needed by disability community, the problem we have that these communities do not come to the Disability Rights Commission to request. They think they know the address and the phone number of the sign language interpreter and they go to them directly. And like the sign language interpreter said, if you go directly to them, you pay because you are contracting them outside Anambra State Disability Rights Office. But if you submit a request to Anambra State Disability Rights that you need a sign language interpreter, it's free. Again, don't be tired of me mentioning RoLAC. I say, RoLAC trained about 40 sign language interpreters in Anambra State. So that, can we clap for them again?
to training those people, provided a directory. If you need a sign language interpreter, you have a directory to go and request one.
Services, the right services, you know, in the criminal justice delivery space. RoLAC further trained those sign language interpreters on terminologies, justice sectors, terminologies, legal terminologies, you know, that would have as well, like if you want to use them in the courts, for instance, they will be accustomed to the palace, the court jargon. Yes. They will know and be able to deliver that service. If you want to use them in the police station, if you want to use them, you know, so I am not seeing anything that will be limiting service, the appropriate service delivery for persons that will benefit persons with disabilities in this state. You know it that RoLAC engaged you to train on the disability rights law, you remember? Yes. And we had somebody else trained on the VAP law. We had another person on the child's right law, you know, looking at issues broadly, to make enabling services available for justice delivery, for effective justice delivery in the state. I am just chipping this in. Like I said, I'm not trying to sing our praises, but for us to know that there are a number of interventions that would have perhaps made an enabling environment for proper service delivery in Anambra State. We can still start today, you know, to leverage on these services. Thank you.
So, and then in addition to the final interpreter in DRC, that he also wants to add a more clear understanding that before that they have to be DRC interpreting and the judge, but now DRC also have what we call deaf people that are not educated. So now the DRC office has a deaf sign language interpreter whereby the person is also available to break down the language into local language for a mere person, a deaf person that is not yes, so that this is a whereby a sign language interpreter can interpret what the deaf person can able to be looking at the sign language interpreter and also breaking down that information down to the local language for that deaf person to be able to follow up, just in case the deaf person itself is not educated. So that's what he's trying to add in addition to that of the sign language interpreter. So we also have a deaf sign language interpreter working at the commission, just in case.
That's very
just about the case that we had about some few years ago, about when some people were attacked, and so they now decided to bring the case to our office, and they now decided to ask the person what happened, and the person answered the story from what happened to the case again, and they were able to work together with the policemen and the sign language interpreter, and that's how we were able to resolve the issue with the help of the deaf sign language interpreter.
I also recommend to government to employ more sign language interpreters. We have only about 5.
Okay,
we have only about 5.
Employment of more.
So we have to appeal for more employment.
There are existing ones, but there should be more.
Yes. Yes, because those other ones trained by RoLAC, yes, they are very good. But I know a commission has no control of all of them. But if they are government employed, you know, with support of the ones trained by RoLAC, there will be effective services. Because those ones, when you call them, if they are not available, you cannot hold them. But if they are employed by government, you will be sure that any time they are called, they will be there.
Or they have a partnership with government, even if they are not fully employed.
Or maybe there will be a kind of a stipend to help them to render their services. If not, they may not be readily available to do that.
ACJL, what provisions are available for them, what redresses are made available for them there. Now, the same way, I have always hammered on sensitization. I have always hammered on sensitization. We all know, some of us are privileged to know. But what about the people in the grassroots? What about them? They do not even know that they know what options they have. You know, what avenues they can seek redresses. So they do not even know about it. What about sensitization? I'm going to recommend one that I do not know if it's already in place. But outside the main office, the commission here, I do not know if they have outstations, offices in the different local government areas. Assuming they have such offices there, at least once in a while they can organize through churches, through that they gather, they let them know that this office is here. If you have any problem, they might not all be able to come down to Walker, okay, but at least go to that office and report whatever issue you have, okay. That is one. Two, one of the reasons why the special court for juveniles, family matters was created is so that they don't get swallowed up in the midst of many cases that come up. That was why those courts were created. So I was just going to suggest to you that if the worst comes to the worst, we could also have a special court and everything, where, not necessarily in everywhere, but you just know that where, like now, people come from Onitsha, different places, as long as it's within Anambra, to the special court. And a magistrate is appointed to sit in the special court. She sits in her own regular court, and then she goes there on particular days to sit over special cases. So when we have that kind of provision too, this, and at least if you have a special court now, wherever it is cited, everybody will be taken into consideration. At least we'll have a particular sign language person stationed there. Yeah. We have a particular police person stationed there. You go there as a physically challenged person, or as well, and lay your complaints there. The person makes the entry there. Do you understand? Such provisions are taken care of. I have when I went last 2 years during the International Women's Day and everything, I was in Abuja for that and everything. And a lawyer, a female lawyer, said she went to the police station to report that she had just been raped. And the policemen there were making mockery of her. They were laughing at her and telling her, "Are you not happy that somebody touched you?" Can you imagine? You know, she actually stood up and she said it. We're talking about a female lawyer. We're not talking about somebody in the village that doesn't just know her way. She said they told her, but assuming you have a special place, a special center, where that encompasses everybody, and then we have a magistrate or a judge that goes to sit there depending on the case, the jurisdiction, do you understand? Depending. It would help so that we don't get swallowed up. We don't get swallowed up. I started by saying that the reason the special court was created, so that at least those particular cases will be heard there. So if we have such a court, we know that people from all over Anambra State, where you have an issue like that, once it is filed, if it is filed in Aguata, they transfer the file. If it is filed anywhere, they transfer the file, and it will be heard there. That is just that other recommendation.
We have one recommendation for just like we have family court, to have a special court for people. A special court.
Information. Again, RoLAC established in Anambra State a place called where rape cases are reported, especially when it involves persons with disability. I think what we can also take away from your worship's recommendation is maybe we can recommend to the state to set up maybe a judicial center at that entity, so that if the cases that are there can be handled, and as your worship said, they have a monthly inspection of police stations and report. If there can be one of the centers, the judicial officers, the worship or judge can go to Enugu and handle cases that are there, that they will not be swallowed up in the state system where excessive adjournment may cause the case to be lost. She requested for experience. We will need to hear from people who are seated here, deaf people and others who have experiences. I know if I share, so I know 4 of them I can share right now, but they are not the ones that I personally experienced, but there are reports that come to our office and people run to us. Unfortunately, we have to refer them to the areas they get help, and you never hear anything again. So there are cases in the criminal justice system affecting persons with disability. A deaf girl is raped and she doesn't get justice, and a deaf man, somebody wants to take his property, and then they fight, is dragged to court with charges, battery and all that, and the deaf man doesn't even know what the charges are, and then he's adjudged guilty even though he doesn't know what they talked about. You have the blind, and so there are cases that abound, but unfortunately they have to be reported cases, not what I personally experienced. So can we please, if you are here and you know some, I think that's what Madam RoLAC is talking about. Let's share some of those stories in summary so they can be chronicled and reported.
This is my name. My name is Philip. I say this because it's a first-hand experience and I experienced it. And it keeps happening.
Whatever happened,
the microphone is not.
Once again, my name is Philip. I said so. But this is my experience. It's first-hand. And I would like to say this. It happened to me barely a year ago. I was attacked in my house by a friend, and thanks to the Nigeria military, they handled the case and they transferred it to Okusu SAT, and the case was referred to Ogidi High Court. We are in court for the first time on the 11th of October 2024, and the case was adjourned to November 11th, 2023, and the correctional center, they did not bring the guy to court. I requested why. Rather, the guy was represented by a lawyer. They came to withdraw the matter, which I told them no. I came to the court to request for justice. And the case was adjourned to 5th of December 2023. We also went there again. The boy was not brought to court. The case was like, has been adjourned, no dates fixed. Even up to now, there have been no dates. And I went to confirm if the guy is also stayed at the correctional center, and I was given a no response. I have been there to this, and they have refused to provide the guy. And for now, I think I'm handicapped about it. So what do I do about this?
Escalate to the commission. If you go through the disability rights law, where the functions and the duties of the commission are provided, the commission is empowered to take up such matters when you properly escalate such developments to the commission. I doubt if you have done so. Have you?
He has.
Okay.
And his matter was referred to Ministry of Justice. But the last report we got was he was being asked to bring money so the person can be charged in court. Yeah. From the police station, not from Ministry of Justice. So he hasn't got back to us as to the statutes because I mentioned it to Attorney General and are willing to take action on it. But we didn't hear from the victim again.
We are discussing today its implementation and how it affects or how it impacts on persons with disabilities. Firstly, there's a provision there for, of course, it has always been there for a fiat from the Attorney General, from the Commissioner and Attorney General of Justice, for the person to prosecute. So, I think that we may look into that. How do we approach the Attorney General to issue a fiat for the aggrieved person to prosecute? Because it is provided there that in deserving circumstances, you can approach the Attorney General for a fiat to prosecute. Don't we go to the Attorney General in this instance, activate the provisions of the ACJL for a fiat from the Attorney General to prosecute under the circumstances when the police is.
Number 9.
Yes.
My mind was actually working on. We are at a loss as what happened to the case. What is the end result? It's actually not the headache of the director of the commission. Where my mind was going, who is the legal officer responsible for the case? Since this is a specialized case of a person with a disability, you see, all that we are doing now is to be able to take control of their issue as a special one. In a circumstance like this, I should be able to say this has come to the legal services of the people with the disability. There is a case recorded already. Now, what is the stage? Okay, it has gone to the, luckily enough, the Ministry of Justice also have their department there, civil defenders. Then you go to the file there. What happens? Who is the particular lawyer in charge? What happens to it? In that case, a case like this, we open the file and know the result. And now what we are having now is that there's a financial constraint, in spite of the fact that RoLAC is up and doing. So I'm also saying that thanks to this kind of forum, we'll be able to make sure that in future things like this will not put us at a table where we'll be asking what is the position of the case. Thank you.
With the position of the commission, especially when there are instances where the police may be reluctant to prosecute or may be providing barriers or making demands or even compromise the case in some instances, the Attorney General has the power to issue a fiat and say to the nominal complainant here, to the aggrieved person, go and prosecute, in which case he will now hire his own lawyer. Or in this instance, a lawyer that is working under the commission will take up the job and then prosecute the matter for and on behalf of the aggrieved person. All that needs to do is for the commission to work with the Attorney General. Demand or apply. We need a fiat. We need a fiat. And it's at discretion of the Attorney General to grant one. In fact, in reserving circumstances, the AG must grant one.
Well, here to prosecute anybody that is jeopardizing the interests of persons with disabilities. So, this is a good case, and I want to tell the complainant, come back to the office. A lawyer is willing to represent you right now.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay.
Given the opportunity, I will represent him if you are able to meet.
And the authorities that are charged with the responsibility to prosecute are dragging feet because of, in many instances, there may be compromises. You pay all the money you pay, and then that day you not even see the prosecutor, and they will keep telling you cock and bull stories. Now you have an opportunity to approach the commission, and then there is a available or arrangement to obtain the fiat of the Attorney General for you to prosecute without the police or the only prosecuting body. A lawyer will be there to represent you. That will take care of a lot of nonsense going on. And this is very, very important for us to note. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much. I myself personally, I have experienced challenges, especially with the policemen. That was the time I took a report to them because one of my friends. So I gave him my bike, that is my motorcycle, to ride for hire purchase. So this guy refused to follow the agreement we made. So because I told him that every week he must come to do the payment. So after a month I didn't see anyone. Then I went to the area commander and reported to them. They said, okay, no problem. But I have to pay before they will go and arrest the guy. I deposited, I think, during that time, it was 2,500 naira. That time, there is, Tinubu was not in the seat. So it was 2,500. Then, waiting for them to come and do the arrest, to come and recover my machine. 1 week after, I went back. I said, I think I have made my payment, as you people told me earlier. They said that I should wait. After some weeks ago, I went back. So they kept on doing this to me. I get annoyed. Then I went to the DPO of that place and reported the case again. Without knowing that these people did not even register my case in their book. So it was when I went back for the second time and reported another person that they took it serious. So maybe what I'm saying here is that they neglected me at the first time. Maybe that I'm not up to come and do the complaint to them. Before I reported another person, that was when they came to our place and arrested the guy with the machine. So on this case, because during that time, RoLAC was not here to help us out. Then I did it as I can during that time. So now another question I want to say, or I want to ask, if now let us say that this thing is happening now, then I did it without the consent of our commission. Then later, maybe unknowingly to persons that have not experienced such, they did it maybe because they didn't know anything. Then later, when they have understood that RoLAC and our RoLAC people that are here to help us out. Thank you.
Matters and civil matters is very important. Essentially, today we are dealing with criminal matters. A criminal matter or a crime or offense is one, the law, that's a provision in a law book or a law that says this is a crime and provides an punishment for it. It is different from a civil matter, which an arm of it could be a contractual agreement, a contract or an agreement with somebody, which he breaches or is said to breach. That is not a criminal matter. Very often, people escalate a civil matter to the police, and police will not say no, with due respect. You bring somebody is on his own, you bring something business to him, he will be very happy. And the court has given judgment that the police is not a debt recovery agency, that they ought not delve into civil contractual matters. So if you have a quarrel with somebody, or you are signed an agreement and they refuse to comply with it, and then you rush the police to arrest them, you are the one making money for the police. So that does not fall within their ambit of what they should do. The person has only infracted the agreement. He does not give you rights to a criminal matter. It's a civil matter. So this should be very clear to us. What you are dealing with here are criminal matters, crimes, offenses. For there to be offense, there must be a law that should pronounce it an offense. And there must be a penalty for it. Either a jail term or cost or fine. There are different types of, there are felonies, big ones, there are misdemeanors, there are simple offenses. These are categories of offenses. So we should be well guided in this. So in this instant case, I think that would fall within the ambit of a breach of a contract, which should have given rise to a civil matter. You go to a civil, institute a civil action to recover your money or for enforcement of the contract, the terms of the contract. So we should be guided not to escalate such matters to the security agencies, because in fact, the person you are taking there may eventually take an action against you for enforcement of his fundamental rights, that you have breached his fundamental rights, and then the bushmeat will start chasing the hunter.
The normal practice, for instance, if somebody goes to the police station to make a complaint and the police will insist that they want to write the statement, this is a normal practice, because they did it to me when I went to the police station to make a complaint, about an issue. They insisted that they are the one that will write my statement, and I said no. It became a problem between me and them. That I don't know whether they're doing that because they think because I'm using crutches, I'm not educated enough to write my statement, or is it the normal practice? That is when I will now be able to know whether that is written against me or intimidating me for nothing. Though after all said and done, I wrote it by myself. But I want to know, because some other people that will not be able to stand their ground might feel intimidated, and they might be lured into signing statement that not even have full information of what is being written.
Attorneys, our lawyers who are here, not just the moderator can answer. I am answering because it was also my personal experience. I want to say, it is not for the police to write a statement for you unless you are uneducated. In which case, if they have to take down, they must read it back to you. There has to be an interpreter that will tell you exactly what you are signing. A boy who was living with me was sent on an errand, and he was coming back home one evening, and the police grabbed him and said, "What is in your bag?" He said, "Nothing." They saw the bag. However, they kept him, and we were looking for him all through the night until the next day. We were told he was in the police station. We got there. Why is he being detained? They asked him to write a statement which he refused to write, so they detained him. And the statement, when he told them that I sent him on an errand, they told him to write. This one, not that they would write, but they told him what to write. That they should write that I was bringing cocaine from America and give it to him and to go and sell. They were looking for a reason for him to be detained so that we can come and pay money and bail him. But they got the wrong person, because I went to the DPO right away. DPO ordered them to release the boy. There was no crime, nothing. And when I came, when they were instructed to release the boy, the next thing they did was to wait until the DPO leaves, and they said they will have to take him into. So then I went to look for the DPA again and said, look at these people. And then they refused my presence in the room where they were asking him to write the statement. They did not want me to be present while he was writing the statement, because they're telling him what to write. And when he refused to write what they're telling him, they took him back into the cell until I got the DPO to scold them, and they released him. So this is unfortunately what we go through every day in most places, with the police just looking for money. What is the issue? May we call on the government to improve the living standard of the police. But somebody is saying, whether you improve the living standard or not, they're still going to do what they're doing. Because every time you confront them, they tell you, Oga is doing his own in the office. And so they're not afraid to do this. But I'm glad there's some policemen with us today. There has to be reorientation. And the police ethics, we cannot put them all in one basket. There are good policemen. Even if you want to give them the money, they will tell you, no, I'm doing my job. At least I have seen those policemen. They say, no, I'm doing my job. They refuse even to collect from anybody that wants to induce them or entice them. So, we need help.
You see, when you go to police station to make a report, you can do it through a petition from a lawyer, or you can go to the police to make it direct. That is, going there, they will record whatever you are saying. So you have options. One, going to a lawyer to write a petition on your behalf, or you go to police to make direct complaint to the police. And when you make such direct complaint, the police will put it down in black and white, then they will start from there. I think that is the position.
Something they want to present and say that is your statement. The court has said it has to be on tape, videotape. And if not, it will be thrown out. They want to be sure your statement is not made under duress. In other words, you were not compelled, forced to make such a statement. So they must take such confessional statement. Over in America, there's something they call Miranda rights. They will read it to you. That you have a right. In Nigeria, we also say you have a right to be silent. Unless you have your lawyer with you. You can refuse to make a statement until your lawyer shows up. But here, you go to complain, or they arrest you. They want to force you to make a statement. Listen, you have a right to say, I am not making any statement until my lawyer comes. To stay silent, because anything you say will be used against you. So it is your right to make a statement or not to make a statement, especially if you are contravened or arrested. Okay, until your defender, the lawyer that will defend you, comes and looks at the statements department. But you are here. You have a general knowledge of police practices. You are welcome to make statements. People that do this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair. For a bit of more clarity, I think the chairman of the commission and the prof have done justice to that. Just to inform you that under the new administration of criminal justice law, always include yourself if you are used to it within 24 hours. It's not the one that they will be wasting time and says within 24 hours. It should be concluded before it becomes admissible in court. Otherwise, it is a nullity. If that statement is said to contain a confession of yours, of any nature or of any kind. Again, just like number 3 asks, you are at liberty to write your statements by yourself if you are literate enough. No person should compel you to write for you. Then, if you are not literate enough, and before that, you also are at liberty to, just like Chia said, to do anything you want to do, say anything you want to say, write anything you want to write, before you are lawyer. You are at liberty to demand the presence of a legal practitioner of your choice, or the presence of a officer of the Legal Aid Council of Nigeria, or an official of a civil society organization, or a justice of the peace, or any other person of your choice. You believe or you think is learned or intelligent enough to assist you. These are your rights that you can demand to be complied with before you volunteer any statement at the police station.
This is very, very exclusive. I want to appreciate everybody, and I want to thank the chairman. As a compassionate Minister of Women Affairs, this commission has actually been doing more than we could have done as the mandates. Actually, I want to appreciate the chairman because it's very much supportive. In fact, my staff is there as a member of the committee, and is a commission that is making this mandate of the ministry very easy for us. And I want to employ you people that are here to take advantage of this opportunity and this easy thing and just do yourself well. Courtesy of the Professor Mr. Governor for instituting such a very valuable chairman that is important to the tax. But it's all about RoLAC. RoLAC has been so much. I really appreciate this RoLAC so much because considering the positivity of the fraud of the issue with the government, this is the partner that has done so much, especially to the ministry. They are one of the partners that's doing lots of things. So it is courtesy of RoLAC. And I want to extend my Madam Josephine, please. Thank you very much for this. Thank you very much for this. You are making it so easy for us. And I thank God for everything. I was here yesterday, I think yesterday, 2 days ago.
I will escalate it to our head office in Abuja. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Your Honorable Counsel.
Any person living with disability shall, paragraph A, not be subjected to prejudices or harmful practices, including those based on sex, work, age, or tradition in any area of life.
B.
Okay, B. Have rights to sue.
Have rights to sue.
Any individual.
Anybody.
Corporate body.
Including the mother.
Or government and its agencies for damages in the event of the violation of their fundamental rights.
C.
Go to C.
Okay, C. Be provided with free legal aid without condition by government through the offices of the public defender and the Citizens' Rights Directorate when required.
That's one for the building.
When money is in subsection 2.
Subsection 2B. Okay, 2A says, in the case of a corporate body, to a minimum nominal damages, 500,000, payable to the affected person with disability.
No, this one is talking about prejudice. It's not the...
Okay, read.
Accessibility. That's section 23.
What was section 23?
Okay, 23. A person living with disability shall have the right and necessary facilities to access public buildings and public places. 2. Should I continue?
Yes, go on.
A landlord or a landlady shall allow a person living with disability lawfully occupying the property as a tenant to make such.
No, go to the next one.
The government shall ensure that roads, sidewalks, pedestrian crossing, and all other facilities made from the date of commencement of this law. There shall be a transition period.
The punishment is in section 20.
The date of commencement 2018.
Paragraph 2.
Yes.
If the person in charge receives the notice according to subsection 1 of this section but fails to make the environment accessible to the person with disability, the person in charge shall then be liable on conviction. A. In the case of a corporate body, 5,000 damages payable to the affected person for each day of default. Or B. In the case of an individual, to 1,000 naira damages payable to the affected person with disability for each day of default, or to 2 weeks imprisonment.
This is the way as simple as that. Let's move on. Now, are there communication barriers such as lack of interpreters, lack of understanding of legal technologies? We have said yes, that there are such barriers in terms of classification of notice and elsewhere, and we have also profiled the reasons. Okay, that much as there have been provisions, okay, and then also to provide logistics, okay, to make sure that they are able to be available to do this, take care of this left for the commission.
And that will be subscriptions.
Okay, we have done. Yes. We are okay. We have done partly on that with respect to
the writing of
here an experience or like an issue of maybe being arrested in lieu of another person, being like a disabled person. You know, when they come to look for the particular
the suspect and they don't see you, they go for your okay, maybe your brother, your sister, or your sister committed a crime and they ran away because they could run. And then they're able to see you, then they say they take you as in lieu of the person.
That's not a procedure. Bringing a report or a matter to court. For instance, in filing of process, you have to comply with the deadline. You have, if you file a case today, and they can tell you that the defendant has 15 days to respond. I'm giving an example. It has 15 days to respond. And then outside those 15 days is procedurally wrong, and the counsel on the other side can come and strike out your case, not because there was no merit, but because you did not follow the procedure. Also, when you bring a matter to court, now since we're talking about criminal justice system, there is a process of arrest. For instance, a policeman shows up at your door and tells you you are under arrest. It is wrong. There has to be a warrant of arrest for him to arrest you. It must apply to the judge to grant a warrant of arrest. So it's procedurally wrong for them to arrest you without a warrant. It's also procedurally wrong for them to search your house without a search warrant. Now, if they search you without a search warrant, the judge can throw out the result. And then somebody will say, they found cocaine in this man's house. Why is the judge not permitting this? Why is the judge throwing it out? The judge does not live in that house. The judge deals with evidence before it. And every evidence must follow the procedure for the presentation of that evidence, or it will be thrown out. These are what we call procedural matters.
Sir, but you have understood, you have explained it now, so at least people will have an insight into it. So if they have such like experiences on that, they'll be able to react. And I don't know, there's something else that is that we need to talk about. Maybe like even the steps, going to this court clerks, going to the court clerks to file the cases in itself poses challenges, for the people with disabilities. I don't know if there's any area, if in these questions we have been able to address.
No, we have addressed virtual proceedings.
Yeah, that's why we talked about that's why we talked about process filing. There are requirements for you to file your process. In Nigeria now, I don't know if we now have electronic filing. If it is in the developed countries, you can sit in the comfort of your home.
We have in Lagos.
And then you file your case. And then especially if you have to file it within maybe they issued a judgment that is contrary to what you want, and you have to go on appeal. The law gives you a deadline on which to file appeal. And now, if you don't comply with that deadline, it becomes a procedural matter for you not to comply, and your appeal can be struck out because you did not file on time. But that's what the Supreme Court was saying. Sometimes they sacrifice justice on the altar of procedure and all the rest of them. So the point here, if you are a person with disability, this is where the blind people have challenge. They bring a document to you and it's in how many pages? And you can't even read it to know there is a deadline on it. And then there is no requirement, it's not in Braille. So what do? You go to court to file an affidavit, okay? You have to draft that affidavit, and you have to know that affidavit has to be signed, and you have to know there are clauses that must be contained in affidavit for it to be a real affidavit.
So you have just raised a procedural issue that should go into this. That's a very key one for the blind, and it's not just you that it's like, we have other people affected too. The head of the blind cluster is here. So these are the things that we expect that should be raised. This is a very typical one. It's a typical one. For me, I am thinking that in even looking at this, we should look at civil procedure rules in itself, but nobody has talked about that. We are only talking about
the criminal
administration of criminal justice.
About criminal justice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So please, this should be taken. This is a very critical point when you talk about a procedural issue. Giving example with the visually impaired community, what they experience, in filing matters, in filing processes. She just said it. If you did not capture it very well, maybe he could go through it again.
That is, they have a challenge in instituting actions in courts by filing processes at the process sections of every court. It's usually laborious going there physically to do these things, and that is where we could recommend for or it to be done virtually. There is a provision already for virtual proceedings, but they are essentially for the proceedings in court when they have already commenced, not before they commenced. So what happens with commencing the matter? When you have to...
It's only in Lagos that you can get this. So in Anambra, it's still a challenge.
A challenge. So we recommend that if it's possible, let also have virtual filing of processes where you can stay in the comfort of your home and initiate actions in court.
So beyond virtual hearing?
Yes.
Virtual filing?
Virtual filing. Aside from virtual proceedings, virtual hearing matters.
And we also talk about service of process. That's another procedural issue.
Service of process.
When you talk about service of, there is process filing and service of process. Service of process, there is a requirement that the party on the other side must be served. If it is motion on notice, or if it is a criminal case, when the accused must be served with that is required to come to court or so and so. But in Nigeria, there's what they call Jakara practice. Jakara practice is that when they don't even serve you, but somebody comes to say, it was just
he will swear on affidavit of service.
Of service, and then they come and bundle you, and because they think you were served. And then for the blind, again, if you receive any such document, you must have a sighted person read to you. Don't start shaking that you have received service of someone or warrant of this. There are requirements. Even the charges, if you're in a criminal case, must conform to certain standard and procedure. So don't just shake that as if you're going to prison already. There are things, that's why you need a lawyer. He must check those processes. Now in service of process, the belief can go to serve. But you must know whether this belief is an interested party, because sometimes they collect money that are going to serve. That is why sometimes there is private service, or your lawyer may initiate that service on your behalf to ensure that. But the answer to this whole thing is don't tremble and die before the doctor's news that you have cancer.
They gave me a letter and they said they will get back to me. And the person I attended to, I called her 2, 3, 4 months. Up to now, there have been no response from them.
Whereby a lawyer will be required to present his identity. He will be attended to. So I can now be imagining, assuming these people are coming from the disabled commission and has to go through. First of all, assuming, let's say a blind person is coming, how can he write? And then if the person can't stand all those words. And when you observe, usually, just like every other public places, there's no provision for people living with disability. If you are there, you are on your own. In fact, maybe that's why many of them don't go there. And then we are hearing of a single experience. So I think that's experience of lawyers tells you what it looks like if you are living with a disability. Nobody to give you that privilege of accessing to the administration to allow you to see somebody. It will start with the application even, and then we have to stand up all those before you can access anybody you want to see.
I have a friend that is visually impaired. He's working with the Ministry of Justice, but he's visually impaired. He does not have any equipment. He's supposed to, I'm expecting the government to give him laptop with jaws.
So we're talking about the prison.
I can't remember, but I think someone shared it here on day one that she went to the prisons to visit somebody and she saw a physically challenged person. The person was not with any device to aid them inside the prison because some of these devices are not allowed. So I think she said she advocated for, and the person has been released. But I think this can be very, very challenging, whereby a physically challenged person is in the prison and does not have any appliances at all to aid them. Yes, any assistive device to help them in prison.
Yes?
Thank you, Your Honor. In regards to correctional centers or pre-correctional service, what we do in our centers are issues of the law. There are laws that do not permit some certain things in the correctional facilities. If you look at the physical challenged individuals, they need some physical aids. And for security reasons, those things are weapons. It can turn to weapons, and as such, by law, such things are not allowed. But if the person in question liaises with officer in charge and looking at it, probably making some necessary arrangements that will be of help to him without endangering the life of others that are in the custodial centers, such help can as well be offered. Secondly, somebody, all the while I've been listening, probably to have opportunity to address some of the things. Once, a lady raised the issue of the facility, physical challenge, that is the building and the rest of them, and he made a reference to our headquarters, the state headquarters. Then we were at the 3-story building, but now we are at the Federal Secretariat, which is accessible. So there are no physical challenge person that cannot access the station, the state headquarters office. Okay. For a remand, that person has the stipulated time. The police or the court should present the person. If not, there must be explanation why the delay.
So that's a good innovation. Please, I need you to capture that. There's a new provision under the HSCJL for remand proceedings. You cannot remand somebody indefinitely any longer. There's a time limit for remand presently.
Tell us your name.
My name is Chibima the Public Relations Officer for Disability Rights Commission.
How has this program impacted you? What are you taking from this?
Oh, it has been very impactful because of the kind of people we've invited, who have the opportunity to have a one-on-one interaction with heads of clusters. Yesterday we had interaction with council members, and today we are meeting from our security. It's not every day that we have such an opportunity, so it's giving us the opportunity to air our mind, our challenges,
You are sitting here to address the barriers you face in the administration of justice.
Of course, as you can see, you understand that so many people are not aware of the law. So with this sensitization and with people sharing their life experiences, I believe it will sink in and now start to do the right thing. This law is here for us to implement, and the action just.
I want to thank all of you for your keen participation. We have really done well. It took a long time to get to this point. But we appreciate everybody and then pray that all of us will get home safely in Jesus' name. Amen. So, like I said, our responses will take to Abuja to feed into the national symposium they will be organizing there. 3 of us that will be contacted in due course will go to Abuja to be part of the symposium. So it's after the symposium that we will know our next steps. But certainly there will be next steps from the meeting. So on that note, thank you so much. Today has really, this week has really been a very busy one for the Disability Rights Commission. So we appreciate them. We appreciate them for considering the activities that we have been doing, your professionalization and so thank you so much. And then I wish you take them back to your respective roles. Thank you. And in fact, all the participants here, we want to specially appreciate RoLAC for all they have been doing for the disability community. Honestly, we might have not known what RoLAC have done until this evening that we started listing all these things. You know, looking at this ACJL and then the disability law, from there to the commission and every other thing around it. I think we are the next of kin of Jesus. Honestly, we must appreciate RoLAC for that. And I want to say on behalf of all of us here that we are so grateful, especially to you and your team, because sometimes we don't take it serious the way they take it. We just regard it as let's go and eat our rice and go back and sign our transport. But the way it gives them burden, as if they are the ones with that disability, we are not bothered the way they are bothered. So we would say again, thank you, ma'am. And may God continue to bless you. Your efforts in this grace will not go in vain. In Jesus' name. We will always give you our support, the way you have been supporting us from 2017, 2017, yes. We will keep supporting you. Your efforts and your stress and everything you have passed through with your team will never go in vain. The Lord will continue to bless you. And then to our facilitator, we say thank you so much, because if it is not the way you have been asking us these questions, we will not be responding. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. And for all the law enforcement agencies, our partners, we say thank you for coming. May the Lord bless you. May He grant us journey mercies back to our destination. We will have a sound sleep and meet the people who left at home. Thank you very much. And as you go, may the Lord lead you safe. In Jesus' name, amen.
We are ABS group covering the program.
Okay.
Just speak to us in 2 minutes. I want to know your message to the participants, RoLAC, and Disability Rights Commission. Let's start with your visitors.
Like I've just spoken there, the commission is one commission I've seen since I started, as I came in as a person. They have been so functional, and the chairman is always everywhere. He's doing great for the disability community. So they don't have, creating awareness, they do everything, they provide everything. The chairman is up and doing. But that's also courtesy to RoLAC. The RoLAC is one great partner that I've seen that has been doing a lot. All these things they are sponsoring, and they even have more and they are doing it. So it is courtesy of RoLAC, and also courtesy of Professor Chubuma Soludo, who actually is allowed RoLAC to come in and then actually promote and supporting their programs, and they're giving them good way. So it's a good thing. They're doing well. I don't understand.
Okay, I want to. How will Anambra State government ensure criminal justice administration for those living with disabilities in Anambra State?
That's what we are saying now. The law is already established. It's already there. It's already gazetted. So they are implementing and have given us some leeways and the doorways. Like that's what they are saying now. They are just creating awareness for people to come and access this law that is available to them. That's what Commission is implementing. They have everything they need. Like you can them saying that when it comes to criminal justice, if you come to the Commission, everything will be free. you are not going to take it personal because Professor Charles Soludo is very, very pathetic and very, very committed to the vulnerable group. Everybody, especially these ones. So he's not leaving them out. So everything has been laid there for them to assess. And that's the awareness that has been created here now. This is your right. This is a law has been established. So this channel for you to be implemented. Just come and assess it.
Okay. Your name, madam?
I'm Mrs. Chinwe Achubu.
Chinwe?
Achubu.
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 Okay. That is Achubu.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Permanent Secretary.
Women Affairs.
Okay.
Social
Represent who did you represent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a commission. It's under an agency of the ministry.
Okay.
We are in the same office.
Okay. Ministry of Men.
We have rehabilitation department. So the mandate we were doing as a ministry, the commission now has started taking it.
Okay.
So they are now implementing part of our mandate. So they are now a commission under Ministry of Women Social Welfare.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening. For record purposes, let's have your details.
My name is Chuks Ezeuzie, Chairman of Anambra State Disability Rights Commission.
Okay, so I want to know what has your commission done to ensure inclusive integration for women, children, and persons living with disability in criminal justice administration and reforms in Anambra.
The organization called RoLAC, the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program of European Union, managed in Nigeria by international democratic and electoral system, has helped us to operationalize the legal services department of Anambra State Disability Rights Commission, which means that the commission is set to facilitate access to justice for persons with disability. And we've been in workshop for the past 3 days, sponsored by RoLAC, to ensure the implementation of the Anambra State Disability Rights Law, particularly Section 20 and Section 23 of that law. And Section 20 provides that persons with disability have right to sue anybody who infringes on the right of persons with disability. So the Commission has now sensitized the disability community to recognize their rights, pursue justice, seek justice, and pursue the remedy under the law, and they now free to obtain those remedies that have been provided to persons with disability under the law. So we have now, besides advocacy, we move to action. We will now enforce, together with the police, we will now enforce the implementation of Anambra State Disability Rights Law, which grants access to justice for persons with disability. So in the criminal justice system, which has subjected persons with disability to undue disadvantage due to process, structural barriers, inaccessibility of the infrastructure, judicial infrastructure, we have now liaised with judiciary, with the police, with the Ministry of Justice to ensure that persons with disabilities have access to justice. So yes, in the criminal justice system, the integration is ongoing. What that means is that persons with disabilities are now included in any and every reform designed to make access to justice easy, especially for persons with disabilities.
Okay, so well done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.